I'm actually at the Merritt Bakery, historic Merritt Bakery, to meet Andrew Park, who's running for Oakland City Council District 2. There's the man. How you doing, my man?
Great. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, my man. Yeah, how's it going?
Good. Good.
Now I'm gonna get settled, and then we'll talk a little bit later.
He's got
no. This is cool. I like this. This is cool. Well, maybe let's get that booth over there.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Hey, so tell us the address of this historic place.
The address to Merritt Bakery is 203 East 18th Street, Oakland, California, 94606.
So what do you like on the menu? Look at this menu. This is cool. This is Mr. Park's sign there. What do you like on the menu?
Everything.
Everything.
The burger, the breakfast, the waffles and chickens and the fruits. Everything. The lunch, dinner, prawns, ribs. We got a little bit of everything.
What do you like, Mr. Park?
Chicken and waffle here.
Okay, there you go.
It's the thing to get. Yeah.
I might follow that lead. I'll figure it out. Hey, thanks a lot.
All right. So how did you know that you want to become a city council?
I'm going to give you the short answer first. It's that basically I realized that this is the most efficient and effective way that I could be able to serve my city. But once again, with questions like that, simple questions, it's the hardest to answer. Best way is to just tell a story. You know, I've been working for just working people, working families for the past 15 years in youth. You know, begin to know families through the youth. You know, a lot of times families are struggling, they're trying to make it, but their kids need help. So I've been helping their kids. As I get to know their kids, I get to know their families. And I realize all the struggles and needs that they have. And once we actually transform families and communities, we realize we need the city to help. You know, and
what's your occupation, by the way, to
it starts from the city. You know, I live in Richmond too, and it's a struggle out there, and we always check it out. And you know, a lot of youth, you know, I don't have much, but they come to me and ask me questions. And my mom opened the door, and whatever little we have, you know. And you know, a lot of these, you know, city people really don't want to help the people that's really struggling.
That's how I thought for a long time. It's like, if we're going to make a difference, we got to do it on the street. We got to do it just in our own households. I think one thing I could do is like bring all the people, all the stakeholders like your mom, who are actually doing that work and saying, we want to respect that work. Whenever we can, we want to resource that work, you know, and we want to put that work on to, and give it a stage to say you're important and bring it all together. Because imagine if your mom got a message from the city saying, we love what you're doing, how can we help you? At the least, you know, just to respect her in that way.
So, I mean, like, okay, people acknowledge that, you know, they do see, but how can you do that to help, for people to realize, okay, that person is really helping out our city. She didn't have the funds, but she did it. How are you going to provide that for the city? You said you're already working with the youth, you're already working, you know, in the city to provide, you know, without these funds. You know, how do you...
That's a great question. We need people like you to show up to town halls and to ask those type of questions, and everyone knows that
we hear a lot of stories, you know, people just tell us this and that, and then when it comes to it, they don't want to do it. You know, that's why.
And that's why my message, and that's the thing, is if you say this, do people believe you? What I say is, there's power in bringing people together. Like your mom, if I were to bring her together with other people who are doing that like work and saying, you guys are doing this, you know, in what way can you talk, and in coming together, there's something different that happens. There's a different energy that comes together.
What made you decide, what made you, I mean, what's your occupation is what I should say, because you did. I mean, what do you do?
Yeah. During the day, I work at UC Berkeley. I manage a...
Go Bears!
Go Bears!
Say that. Okay. Hey, thanks.
Nice
Okay, cool.
I'm Rosa, by the way.
All right, Rosa. And
hey, Rosa, don't forget to take our order.
So I've been at UC Berkeley for the past 15 years, and that's provided the training grounds for me to be able to manage budgets. I have a $1.5 million budget. Next year will be $1.8 million, and they've been cutting. I know what it is to centralize, decentralize budgets, and be able to work with Central Campus. And I do that 40 hours a week, and then the other 30 hours a week, I'm managing a nonprofit called Tribe Incorporated. And when I get home at between 4 and 5 o'clock, after I pick up my kids, people are coming over, I'm tutoring them, asking them how our after-school program clubs went, our bike days. I'm asking them how the planning is going for the Halloween party or Easter. And then over the weekend, we're doing these work days. We do a Do Good Saturday, every other Saturday, which for 3 hours, youth come together. They ask principals, small businesses, pastors, what we can do for them to do good in spite of all the crime and negativity that's happening in our city. Instead of feeling helpless and broken about that, come do something good.
Let me ask you, do we need more police on the street, or if we do, how do we pay for them? What's your take on it? Or
Right. Well, I think it's a no-brainer that we need more police on the streets. Whatever that number is, 8, 9, 1,000. One police captain told me that they're not going to be able to have walking patrols until they are over 750. No bike patrols until they're over 800. And so that's a real need, because cops on the street really help to fight the perception that there is no law and order, in the city. But the question is how. And that's where I feel like my budget expertise, really taking a look, but not just the budget expertise, but what I've been doing with Tribe Incorporated is really finding resources, latent resources that are out there to be able to bring the community together and have community participate in public safety. And we've been doing that in our Bella Vista area, which I can talk about, a little later, of just changing the tone. When someone gets shot dead on a corner and people are scared, wanting to move out, saying, I'm so done with Oakland, how do we set a different tone? By doing block parties, by bringing people out, by having neighbors say hi to each other, by putting a bench so that when people walk their children in the stroller, they can stop and talk, by encouraging seniors to come out onto their porches, and when they do, that's natural security.
You mentioned something last time we talked, not for the camera, but it was having to do with replacing redevelopment dollars in your neighborhood.
Yes.
Can you explain that? Because I thought that was very powerful, to be honest.
Right. So before redevelopment was absorbed or taken away from the city, and per Jerry Brown's decision there, we made sure that shovels went into the ground for a few projects that we had advocated for, that we had planned for. The city workers and the redevelopment agency, frankly, worked very hard. For instance, right out here on East 18th and Park Boulevard, there was a streetscape project with better lighting. Whenever you have better lighting, as well as curb cutouts, you put the little bulbs out so that the traffic flows a little slower through there. 2 stoplights. Stoplights are very expensive to put in, but we went and before City Hall, advocate for that. I had to organize the Parks and Rec department, as well as nonprofits and business leaders, to go and speak before the city to say, hey, we're out here and we need you to be mindful of us. Please don't let this go away. And that just helped the city council to give them a little bit of cover to say, this is a project we need to support and actually have shovels into the ground. And later on, I would find that one of our main campaign volunteer managers, her father was killed walking across that crosswalk. And when I looked at her and I thought about the project and we made that connection, it was just like, this is the reason why we don't know why we're working a lot of times, but it comes together. And she says, Andrew, I know you've been working that way, in that sort of way, and that's the reason why I'm helping you. You're a doer, you get things done without a bunch of different motives. That's the right thing to do. And just looking at her, it just all came together to say, we have those moments, and that's what drives our passion and makes us continue to do things that, that frankly a lot of people give up on doing.
Hey, what are your thoughts on the Domain Awareness Center controversy?
Yeah. That's not an easy one, but I think it's pretty clear in terms of the public speaking out in really bringing information before the council. I'm really glad that we as a community have spoken up, spoken out. And I just want to say, just on a budget issue alone, I don't think we're ready for something like that. Not to even speak of the privacy issues, to speak of what's behind the federal government and them wanting to fund something like that. I just think on a budgetary level, we get the grant. But do we have the funding? Even if we put in, let's say, $500,000 in order to maintain it, could we use that for extra police services? And I know the police, but we do need to be able to, as a city, capitalize on technology of that sort.
Yeah,
so at some point.
So. What is the issue because everyone has an issue that they burn on that makes them run? What's your issue?
Yeah, I think that my issue really is having Oaklanders feel safe and secure. Be able to stay in the city, to be able to work in the city, live, unload groceries in their city. But not just for the short term, meaning more cops on the street. That's a short term answer. But in terms of long term answers, which have to do with making Oakland work for working families. If Oakland is working for working families, it's working for everybody. My daughter's piano teacher, actually both my daughters now are taking piano. She got robbed in actually a good part of Oakland, Temescal.
Wow.
She was sitting in her car, and the police always say, don't sit in your car with your laptop, with your cell phone. and you just don't do it. We shouldn't have to be told that. We should have the freedom to be able to do that. And that's my burning issue, is to make Oakland a place where we can actually do that. But she no longer wants to teach in Oakland because of that. And I think it's a huge loss for Oakland. She teaches in public schools, music.
Wow.
And we need that. She's a great teacher. She teaches autistic kids. And then including, like my daughter, we pay good money to have them learn lessons from a great teacher.
Yeah.
And we need to not lose piano teachers like herself. And we need to make Oakland a place where it's like, I'm not going to teach Oakland kids at all. That's really a travesty, because we have talent. Everything's already here in our city. If we could just turn it around, if we just had a little bit more cohesive leadership to capitalize on that. Why are companies not coming here? They say, well, not just the crime, but also there's not the skilled workforce.
Right.
Well, when we're losing skilled people like that who are piano teachers, but all across the board, tech, good, clean, green energy, carpenters, just all across the board, accountants, and we're losing these people, and they're going to the East Bay and Pleasanton, San Ramon and such, and then San Francisco. Then that's going to be a double whammy for people not to come to our city. And I think that we really need to make Oakland feel safe and secure, not just in actual terms, but also in perception too as well.
Let's order and then we'll come back. Look at this, folks. Wow, that's a big salad.
Ranch.
Yeah, ranch. Wow. Well, thank you so much.
1,000 your iced tea. Do you want a lot of onions? I'm sorry. A lot of onion with your iced tea. A lot of lemon.
I'll take a lot of onions. I love onions. Onions are great, man. This looks great, yeah. Wow. What'd you order there?
Salad that came with my fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy that. Been trying to eat more greens lately, and I'm glad that it's not just iceberg lettuce. There's some other, more nutritious forms of green there.
Hey, so for viewers who may not be familiar with District 2, how would you describe it? Aside from being big.
District 2, I think, is the most diverse district in Oakland. I think it has great potential. Not just because of the diversity, but just in terms of the location. Located right next to the lake, almost in the middle, straddling North Oakland, West Oakland, Fruitvale, and deeper, East Oakland. District 2 is a dynamic place, from historic Chinatown to beautiful Crocker Highlands, and of course Grand Lake Theater, the Farmers Market that's there, East Lake, San Antonio, my neighborhood. You can just run into so many different people, so many different eateries. You can go from a $2 banh mi sandwich to dim sum, to really good street tacos, to a Michelin rated, two-star rated Michelin restaurant where you can eat.
Do you have a favorite?
I actually don't go to the higher end restaurants as much as I'd like to, but I think I like Viet Hung.
Yeah.
It's in Chinatown. It's Chinese Vietnamese noodles, and you ask anyone, that's pretty much the best noodle house in Oakland.
Are you bilingual?
I'm not. I speak enough Korean to know if someone's talking about me.
All right, let's eat.
Okay.
Okay.
Andrew, introduce your friend.
Yeah. This is Lisa Ari.
Hi,
We've
Lisa.
been active in the community together for at least 3 years.
Wow.
She's a co-chair of the NTPC 17 and a good friend, and she's also our campaign communications liaison. So.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, so how's the food? Are you going to order with us? Or?
I don't think so, just because I ate a late lunch
sure.
and we're going to a potluck.
Okay. So we're going to wait for the chicken, and after the chicken we'll finish talking.
Okay.
So again, this is the historic Lake Merritt Bakery, where the Grateful Dead would come to get their chicken, folks. That's true. Yeah, that's right. Okay, folks, this looks good, doesn't it? Doesn't this look good? Aren't you sorry?
I'm real sorry.
This is really awesome. Hey, what about our sports teams? What do you think? Yeah.
Love our sports teams. Love what the Warriors are doing. Love the A's, the Raiders.
Yeah.
It's been tough being a Raider fan, but
How do we retain them?
I think it's continuing to show whether it's just sports organizations or businesses, big corporations, even especially to our small business owners, we just need to show that we have our stuff together, that we can fight, we can bring in resources, that we can competently negotiate and move forward and do this thing together.
Right.
And I think if we show that, all the pieces are there. I think sports teams do want to be here. And I think we can convince them to stay. But once again, we need to get our stuff
spending
together.
public money for sports organizations or what?
Yeah, I think that's out of my depth right now. So I can't really speak to that.
Yeah.
But it just seems like we need to spend our public dollars on getting our city right, back on track, on the police, on helping businesses, helping working families, and yeah.
Now, where do you stand on evaluating like Operation Ceasefire, cutting back to public safety? Was that worth doing in your view, or?
So Operation Ceasefire, I think, is a perfect example of when Oakland moves forward together, how much it can accomplish. I think ceasefire is one of the critical things last year in bringing the murder rate down. To be at 127 and to bring it down below 100, over 30 murders, in cooperation with the police department, the leadership that's there, from the top brass down to the people on the street, the officers on the street, to pastors, doing the Friday night walks, to the Department of Human Services, everyone getting on board, making the commitment to not cancel those meetings, not push those meetings aside, to actually say, no, this is a priority, and to humanize the process for our young men who we see as a big problem. But if we turn it around and they can somehow stop the shooting by offering services, at the same time going after them if they're not taking advantage of some of the opportunities that are before them, I think ceasefire is a perfect example of how, if done together, we can make a big difference in the city.
Let's not let this get cold. All right. We got a party here. Introduce your friend.
Yeah. Hello, this is Jackie Mallory.
Hi, Jackie.
She is one of our main volunteer coordinators. She loves to walk, talk on the phone, and she's a doer. And that's why
knock on doors.
Knock on doors. So say hi, Jackie.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, great to see you. Are you gonna have food, or you?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no potluck.
So how did you meet all these great people? This is the first interview I've done where you bring an entourage.
Yeah.
But I did say that in an evaluation of you, I think it was something. Now you both have entourages, and this proves it. You know, so this is impressive. This is not the whole entourage. But I'm just. She's like, no, not in the
No,
least.
it's not at all.
Are you trying to tell me he has an army? Yeah. He has an army?
Small army, yes.
Small army. Impressive, my friend. This speaks a lot for you.
Well, when you do work in the community and you do some positive things and you send a message out of going shoulder to shoulder, people come alongside. And I would say that I haven't necessarily...
Is that Greg McConnell? No, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I would say that it's not just necessarily me leading, but it's me getting behind what they're doing at times. And it's been fantastic working together.
Yeah. Did you want to add something to what he was saying?
Well, I met Andrew 4 years ago, and everything that I've ever known, ever seen about him has been so positive. He can turn, it's almost like the story in the Bible of the loaves and the fishes. He turns a little bit into a lot. People, children, seniors, there's a great following here.
Oh. Okay.
How about you, Lisa? Why are you, how are you involved?
Why did I join the ranks?
Yeah.
Small army.
Yeah.
Same thing. I got involved at the NCPC meetings a few years ago, and Andrew is the spirit behind that group. He's done just countless events and gatherings that have brought people together in the neighborhood and have brought out people from every corner, people that don't speak English, people that speak English, people who normally don't come to events. They come out, people have come out when they've just lost children, and they've come out because there's a big event and they wanted to bring their surviving children there. I just bring up that one example because there was a really poignant example at a recent Halloween party where someone came whose grandchild had died just a week before that in a shooting, and they came and they just said they wanted to come out because they had another child, and they wanted to bring their child out because there was such a gathering of people and life and positive community rallied together, and people just want to be a part of that, whether they're grieving or whether they're celebrating or whether it's an everyday event. And that's why I believe in Andrew, and mostly I believe in Andrew because he believes in Oakland. And it's sort of this unflinching belief and energy that he has that it's motivating.
Our chicken's cold. So in closing, we had this great meal. I've had this great conversation. What do you want the voters to know most about Andrew Park?
I want the voters to know that I deeply care about the city. I think it has huge potential. That I know that all the pieces are already here in this city. We just need to bring it together. And I'm asking voters for their support. That if they were to elect me into office, that I could be the type of leader to bring that together. To bring focus, to bring the energy, to get things accomplished. I'm a doer, and I want folks to know that we build stuff. It's not always in the form of actual physical buildings going up, but it's in communities healing, it's in streets getting safer, it's in business districts starting to thrive, it's in neighborhoods getting healthy, it's in opportunities for youth and working families. I just want the voters to know that my number one thing I'm going to be doing is working for working families. That Oakland has to work for working families. That if Oakland works for working families, it's going to work for the whole city. That's our long-term answer. So that's what I want them to know.
Anyone watching this who wants to get involved in your campaign, how do they do it? What's your website?
Website is www.andrewparkoakland.com. andrewparkoakland.com, and there's an easy place, join. You can go ahead and tab on that, and you can volunteer, hold a house party, make a donation. Just write me a message, and I'd love to come out and meet with you for coffee. My schedule is flexible, and I can come out and connect. I'd love to hear Oakland, their stories, whether you're older, younger, somewhere in between. And in that connection, I believe that we can move forward together by making that connection. So please visit the website, andrewparkoakland.com, and volunteer and make yourself known through there.
Hey man, it's great to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you. Thank you, Zennie.
You all too. And you all too. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
And this is worth getting cold for.